Hey guys, welcome back to Stock My Closet. For today's project, I have taken 2.5 meter cotton fabric and this is the measurement I'm using. You can adjust it according to your requirement. Let's start with the cutting. Firstly, I'll cut out the bodies and for that I have folded the fabric twice in width. I'm making dress for small size, so I'll get front and back of bodies from one length. If you're making for medium, large or more than that sizes, you need two lengths, one for front and one for back. So here I have folded the fabric twice in width. So I have 4 layers of fabric. Now I'll mark the body's length, that is 14 inch. I'm adding 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'll mark a point at 15 inch. Cut out the bodies and now I'll mark the measurements. For shoulder, take half of shoulder width. In my measurement, shoulder width is 13.5 inch. So half of it will be 6.75 inch. Here back neck is around 9 inch deep. So I'm deducting half inch from the shoulder and I'll mark a point at 6.25 inch. Now neck width. For Dangree dress, you need to make broad neckline. So you can take neck width 4 inch or 4.5 inch. I'm taking neck width 4 inch. Now I'll mark half inch downwards for shoulder slope and join it to the neck width point. Now I'll mark armhole. In my measurement, armhole round is 14 inch and usually we mark half of armhole round, that will be 7 inch. But for Dangree dress, I'll be adding 1 inch to it. So I'll mark a point at 8 inch. Now from the shoulder, I'll mark a point at 10.5 inch shoulder to bust measurement and 14.5 inch shoulder to waist measurement. Extend these points. Mark 1 inch inwards for front armhole curve and join it to the shoulder slope point. Now I'll mark round measurements. For chest, I'm adding 2 inch of ease. In my measurement, chest round is 30 inch. 30 plus 2 is 32 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8 inch. For burst, I'm adding 3 inch of ease. In my measurement, burst round is 32 inch. 32 plus 3 is 35 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8.75 inch. For waist, I'm adding 4 inch of ease as I'm making loose fit dress. So in my measurement, waist round is 28 inch. 28 plus 4 is 32 and dividing it by 4, I'll get 8 inch. Join these points. Adding around 1 inch of seam allowance. Now I'll draw front and back armhole curves. I'm making sweetheart neckline shape for front. So from the shoulder, I have marked a point at 6 inch and neck depth is 10.5 inch. I'll join these points. And with this marking of bodice is complete, now I'll cut it out. To cut front armhole and neckline, I'll just separate the back. Fold front bodies again and cut armhole and neckline shape. So this is front bodies. For back, I'm making round neckline shape and this is back bodies. Now I'll cut the bottom and for that I'm making A-line skirt. Skirt length will be full length of dress minus body's length minus ruffle length. In my measurement, dress length is 42 inch, body's length is 14 inch and ruffle length is 8 inch. So 42 minus 14 minus 8 is 20 inch. So here I have taken length 20 inch and I have added 1 inch for seam allowance, half inch for top side and half inch for bottom side. I have taken two lengths, one for front and one for back, and I have taken full width of fabric and I have folded both pieces by half in width. So here I have 4 layers of fabric. Now from the top I'll mark a point at half inch and I'll extend this point. This is for seam allowance. Now from this line I'll mark 7 inch downwards, waist to hip measurement, extend this point. Now I'll mark same waist measurement as I marked on the bodies, that is 8 inch. For hip I'm adding 8 inch of ease. In my measurement hip round is 38 inch. 38 plus 8 is 46, and dividing it by 4 I'll get 11.5 inch. Now join waist to hip. For bottom line, extend waist to hip till the bottom like this. Measure hip to bottom. This is around 13.25 inch, and mark same point on the opposite line and join this point with the bottom using curved ruler like this, adding 1 inch for seam allowance. With this skirt marking is complete. Now I'll cut it out. Measure skirt bottom to cut the ruffle. This is around 18 inch and this is on fold. So total width for one side will be 36 inch. Now to cut the ruffle, I have taken full width of fabric and I have folded the fabric by half in width. I am taking ruffle length 8 inch and I'll add 1 inch for seam allowance. So I'll mark a point at 9 inch. Width is 24 inch. This is on fold. So total width of fabric is 48 inch. Similarly, I'll cut 2 more pieces for ruffle. So here I have cut 3 pieces. And with this cutting is complete, now I'll stitch the dress. Firstly, I'll finish the front neckline, and for that I have cut out the rectangular piece from same fabric to use as facing. Place the facing on the neckline right sides together and make a stitch in the neckline shape. So I made a stitch. Now I'll trim the facing fabric and I'll make small cuts all around the neckline. Now turn the facing fabric towards the wrong side of the neckline like this. Fold the facing like this and make a stitch to secure it. You can also do hemming. To finish back neckline, I am using bias tape. I have finished both necklines. Now place front on the back, right sides together, and stitch shoulder slope on both sides. So I have stitched shoulder slope. Now I'll attach bodies and the bottom. Join both bodies and bottom waist right sides together and make a stitch. So I made a stitch. Now I'll overlock it. Similarly, I'll attach back waist. I'll finish both armholes using bias tape. I have finished both armholes. Now I'll stitch the side fitting seam. Now I'll prepare the ruffle. Join two pieces right sides together and make a stitch. Similarly, I'll attach other piece. Now I'll make finished seam on the bottom side of the ruffle and basting stitch on the top side of the ruffle. Double fold the seam allowance and make a stitch on the inner edge to secure it. So I have finished the ruffle and this is how it will look. Now on the top side I'll make basting stitch. And for that, just select the highest stitch length on your sewing machine and make a straight stitch. So I made a basting stitch. Now pull the bobbin thread to make gathers like this. I'll adjust gathers according to the bottom round of the dress. So I've adjusted gathers. Now I'll join ruffle with the bottom round of the dress. Place ruffle on the bottom round of the dress, right sides together, and make a stitch. So I've stitched ruffle all around the bottom. Now join both ends of ruffle and make a stitch. And continue the top stitch. So I've attached the ruffle. Now I'll overlock it. And with this, my dress is ready, and this is how it looks. You can pair it with contrast t-shirt in or out, that's your choice. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you like this pattern. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and do subscribe my channel for more such videos. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye bye.